Now, tennis star Novak Djokovic will be released from immigration detention in Australia after a judge overturned the Australian government's decision to cancel his visa. But the tennis star's saga isn't over yet. The government's lawyers say it may now use its powers to cancel the visa on different grounds. The world #1 player was detained after arriving in Australia last Wednesday. Australian Open organizers granted him a medical exemption from corona vaccination, but he was dramatically denied entry because of the requirements that all non-citizens coming to Australia must be fully vaccinated for COVID-19. To talk us through this story, I'm joined now by tennis commentator Steve Pearce in Melbourne. Steve, Djokovic is free. How did this unfold?
It's been quite the day, to say the least, again, with Novak Djokovic in the Australian Open. It's basically so the day has unfolded in a series of moments where the Federal Circuit Court was open and discussing the case, and then moments when it was adjourned. To add to the drama, the live stream of those proceedings constantly crashed because of the interest in how this is going to unfold. But the court essentially heard from Novak Djokovic's lawyers throughout the day, basically stating that the reason for the cancellation was completely unreasonable, that he hadn't been given enough notice, proper process had not been followed, and that even left the judge, Anthony Kelly, to come up with a state of what else could this man have done to satisfy all the conditions to come into Australia. And then the court was adjourned again, and it seems during this adjournment that the government's lawyers and Djokovic's lawyers and the judge have come to the understanding that really that the case need go no further because of this technicality that the Border Force official stated at 5:20 on Thursday morning that Novak Djokovic could have until 8:30 to present his arguments as to why he should be allowed into Australia. But at 7:42, and therefore nearly an hour before that deadline was set to expire, the visa was cancelled anyway, therefore denying Djokovic the opportunity to speak to Tennis Australia and put forward further presentations. And on that basis, the government does not seem to have contested this decision, and therefore at this stage Djokovic is a free man and was 20 minutes ago.
Okay, so a timing technicality. Very interesting. Still, Djokovic's troubles may not be over. A government lawyer, I understand, is warning that the immigration minister still has the power to remove Djokovic from Australia. Is that likely to happen?
Well, it's certainly possible because so Alex Hawke is. It feels a bit like a VAR in a football match, doesn't it? Everyone's celebrating, but now they're not really sure whether they can celebrate. We've seen the Serbian fans and supporters outside his hotel celebrating, but it is a possibility. So the government's been very strong on the fact that so moving away from that technicality of the timing wise, the actual fact of the COVID infection is, in their mind, still, and everything that the federal government has been saying, and therefore Border Force has been saying, that is not a valid reason to be able to come into the country. So if Alex Hawke, the Minister for Immigration, is going to stand by that, he can step in and cancel Novak Djokovic's visa, in which case, do we then go back to the courts again, or et cetera, et cetera? But if that second cancellation does then stand, as I understand it, Novak Djokovic would not then be able to enter the country for a further 3 years. So it's a really significant moment for the federal government here in Australia. Does it stand by everything it's been saying over the last week to say that this man, Mr. Djokovic, shouldn't be in the country? Or does this now do they let the court decision stand and everything moves on? Really intriguing.
Fascinating and complicated, it must be said. Steve, thank you so much for filling us in there. That was tennis commentator Steve Pearce in Melbourne.